Welcome to the back office. My name is Dalayna Dillon. I'm the founder and creative director of Signify Marketing, and this is where you get to sit in on real strategy. Each episode, we step inside active businesses and have honest conversations about marketing, growth, leadership, and the decisions shaping what happens next. None of us have it fully figured out, but we are building anyway. And today, we're sitting down with Cameron Cooke, the founder of Skintopia Studio and Spa here in Tulsa. Cameron has over 20 years of experience in the skincare and wellness industry and has built a brand that blends advanced treatments with a holistic, highly personalized approach. So today, we're talking about what it really takes to stand out in a saturated industry and build a business centered around experience, trust, and results. Welcome.
Hello.
Cameron, it's so good to be with you in your beautiful, beautiful studio spa. It is gorgeous. You'll have to check out social media to see full behind the scenes because this place is beautiful.
Thank you.
And so tell us right off the bat, tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get into spa and skincare industry, and what led you to eventually create Skintopia?
Okay, so the beginning of time, I had always known I wanted to be an esthetician and work in the skincare industry. And I think I was about 5 years old when I knew that. I started doing facials on my friends outside when we were playing. I would put like mud on their face and I would just massage them. I think my first word was lipstick. And so it really was just my calling, and I graduated high school with a cosmetology license. I then went into aesthetics and got my esthetician license. And then, yes, it's been 20 plus years of working in different spa business models. I've worked under dermatologists. I've worked in medical spas. I've owned 2 different spas currently at Skintopia Studio and Spa, and I am also a sales rep with Eminence Organic Skincare for the past 8 years. And so I've worked with thousands of estheticians, hundreds of spa locations across the Midwest, helping to develop brands, businesses, skills, and it is truly my passion to help other people in business, inspire women and encourage them. And I am growing, and that's just kind of where we're at right now. I'm in a little bit of a pivot in my business, and so it's, yeah.
So tell us about the pivot. Tell us about the pivot.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. So I'm kind of living in a dream come true right now because I finally launched my website. It's not just an average website. It's a website that houses education for estheticians, and it's going to have courses available. Because what I found, there was a gap in the industry and education. And estheticians are required to get 700 hours, which is not enough.
Yeah.
I have found that they get out of school and they don't know the simple, basic skills that they need to become successful. So I'm not only going to put out module trainings and courses online that are just skill hands-on, but it's also going to be about business, about retailing products, suggesting products for clients, and just literally everything from event planning and things like that. So my website also is available. Eminence Organic Skincare is available now for retail. So that's huge for me because I do a lot of marketing on my social media platforms, and I want to make sure that people can shop with me online. And so now that's available too.
Yeah. Makes it even easier.
Yes.
Well, so obviously so I love Eminence Organic. So if you're not familiar, it's a great skincare brand, but you are a rep. Because of that, having that opportunity, you are in so many different spas. People think that, there's so many estheticians out there's so many spas out there, but it's because everyone wants a different style, everyone has a different method, so you see a lot.
Absolutely.
And how has that helped you shape what you want Skintopia to be? Because there are a lot of different options, but you kind of have to focus in on what you want it to be and just the branding and the experience.
Yes, exactly, and being authentic to your own self. And so that is really, really important for me. I have collected best practices throughout the years from different spas, And for me, my era right now is holistic, natural approach. I am not only wanting to help people with their skin and making them look beautiful, but also their confidence. I want to build confidence in women. I want to make sure that they feel better about themselves, their spirit. I want to also work with trauma and releasing trauma every time that they come in for a facial.
Yeah.
I really pray over my clients. I'm intentional about it. And so every single movement is intentional, and everything that I do is customized according to what their skin needs. Each time they come in is going to be a unique experience. And not only am I providing that type of service for results, but also that experience that I think a lot of us need to release from that flight and fight mode to get into a peaceful state and to relax, which is so hard to do right now. So that is what my branding is about. That is who I am. I want to just care for people, love people, and really just, exude that in my business.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that those are all things that are hard for someone to duplicate, because training, you say do this, and you get this. But I think that kind of an experience can only come with 20 years of being in the industry.
Yes.
It's like a compilation of everything that you've learned and everything you've gleaned. I feel like it has to be. Because I don't think someone just starting out could really have that much experience and to put into every facial to make it truly unique,
Yeah. And I always like to teach that we have to lead with our heart. And when we lead with our heart, everything else will flow. It will come together.
Yeah.
So that is like the number one thing that I recommend. And just making sure that I'm not thinking about myself, like I'm not thinking about the outside world while I'm treating a client. I really am thinking about just the now, being present with that person, holding space for that person within that time that I have with them that's so precious that they've delegated their time with me. So I'm, really just in the now with them.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it took me a long time to get there, to build the confidence. But also, even with guided meditations now that I've been implementing into the treatments and being a little bit more confident with that, it does definitely take building up that confidence. But people really are responding well, and they need that.
So talk about that, because I think, whether someone's in this industry or in a different industry, they're just a business owner. Yes. It takes a level of confidence. So the first time you tried to implement something new into your service, you probably were like, I don't know. You maybe not super confident, but I think I know people, I don't know if I love or hate the phrase fake it till you make it, but the more you do something, the more confident you feel in offering that or adding that in. So speak to that. And I know it's specific to your industry, but it could go across every industry.
1000%. Exactly. So you really have to step out. And that first step is the hardest step. And then you inch your way. It's just those little steps that can add up. And I always like to say there's somebody else on the other side of my obedience.
Yeah.
And so when I'm obedient to my calling, it's not easy, but I know that there's a purpose behind that.
Yeah.
And so I have to step forward. And that is really challenging. It's not just challenging mentally, but also spiritually. And I think that we do have to get into a space of discomfort in order to grow. So,
well, and sometimes business owners just feel like, oh, I'm such a fraud, which imposter syndrome, people have been talking about that for years. And I think I've just gotten to the place where I'm like, I don't even think that's a thing. I think everyone's feeling exactly what you're saying. It's just some people are ignoring that feeling and some people aren't. But I know imposter syndrome is something that people can feel like, okay, well, because you started off the only service provider here, but this is my studio and spa. And so sometimes people might be like, well, but it's just me. But no, it's not. I'm creating something and putting it out there, and the confidence follows.
Right.
All of those steps.
Exactly.
Have you ever felt that feeling?
Every day. I have to fight it every single day.
Well, you
so,
do
yes.
it. You just show up with confidence. I feel like you project confidence, so you're doing great.
Yeah, well, I'm authentic.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
That's a good thing about me is that I've always been very raw, almost to a fault sometimes. And I make people feel comfortable because of that.
Yeah.
Because I am authentic. I'll tell you, I don't know everything. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm still growing.
But you know a lot.
But I do feel confident. Like, I do feel confident that I can lead, that I could do it in my sleep. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
So I do feel confident in that. And so I think it's all just rearranging your thoughts constantly. And that, when you think negative thoughts, how are you going to replace it with those positive thoughts? And even if you have to do some therapy to get there, which is definitely something that I've done, or get some coaching, podcasts help me so much. I do so much inner work. I journal every day. I meditate. I pray. And I ask God for the strength and courage to do those things that I know that I'm meant to do, but are so hard and I can't do it alone. So that is how I'm able to show up with confidence.
Yeah, and you do project confidence.
Thank you.
You mentioned coaching. So coaching has been important for you, and now you've kind of stepped into that yourself, and you've been doing that. I mean, as a rep for Eminence, being in so many spas, and just people looking to you as such a wealth of information, you kind of naturally, I think, slipped into coaching. So, but as far as like being coached, even now, how is that important to you as far as still being coached?
Yes, we have to fill up our own cup, and we need to fill up our own cup by, gaining new knowledge and going and getting advanced education so that we can then feed other people. Yeah. And that is very important. Like, it's, I would not grow and be able to teach anybody something new if I didn't. So by going to advanced education classes, like this morning, I had a therapy session, right? That really helps me so that I can be more well-rounded, and so that I feel like my nervous system is more balanced. And so it is just like crucial for real success. Yeah. And not just success financially, but for that happiness to show up in your life, and for you to be living in that authentic place. Yeah.
Well, and that's in every industry. Like, everyone needs coaching, like, to level up as a person, let alone your business. Like you said, it's not just about income, but level up as a person. Yeah. And you will level up in business. So if it looks like therapy or personal coaching or whatever.
Yes, especially as an entrepreneur, because I feel like what we do for a living is our passion oftentimes, and it just meshes with your personal life. Like, it is one for me. Like, it's hard to separate the two, because it's something that I enjoy doing so much that I read about, like, last night I stayed up just listening or reading about peptides, and just like all kinds of things. I'm always interested in learning and growing, developing my mind so that I can help other people whenever they ask questions, or I know that, there's a demand for that for sure. So,
well, and I think it goes into having a growth mindset. Always be growing, always be learning. Yeah. And it translates to other parts of your life and business.
I'm so proud of you too. Yeah, you're growing a lot.
Oh, my word.
Yes.
Well, what are some of the more difficult things to navigate in the spa industry that people wouldn't expect? Share a little behind the scenes. What's some of the difficult things that spa owners are navigating?
I think one of the hardest things is, recommending product. I think a lot of estheticians, when they graduate from school, or, they don't get that type of training. You could call it sales training, but I don't like to call it that. I call it more like recommending product, which is really important. And my customers, I find, they want to know what I think, what I'm recommending as the trusted advisor. Right. So people are hesitant, women especially are more reserved to recommending product because they feel like maybe that person doesn't have the budget for product or whatever reason. It is uncomfortable at first to retail product, right? So I think that could be a huge hurdle for spa businesses because our product sales should be paying for our overhead. And as a spa owner, if your staff is not recommending product, we're really doing a disservice for our customers, but we're also not allowing ourselves to go home with a profit. And that's really important to stay in business. So services can be, a huge part of the spa, but I think about 50% of your actual takeaway is also product sales, which is something that I go around teaching every day. But then another is staff turnover in the spa industry. Staff turnover. I will go and teach an esthetician at a spa and then go back 3 months later and it's a new esthetician, and then go back 3 months later and there's a new esthetician. And it's just rotating. It is so saturated, as you had mentioned. I think a lot of people do go to esthetician school because it's easier kind of school to go to, and they're not as passionate maybe about it. And they get into it and realize how difficult it is to make it as an actual living. So then they, So
they might not be serious as a career.
Yeah. And so that's hard for spa businesses when there's a lot of staff turnover and clients, they don't trust that spa anymore.
Yeah, it's negative on the customers, but also I'm sure it could cause like burnout feeling for the spa owners of just like, I can't get people to stay, and again, this is everywhere. Workforce is an issue everyone faces, but I can imagine that would be kind of burn you out after a while.
Right. So what I found is that a lot of people don't actually look at themselves, their own leadership, and asking themselves, what can I do differently? Then there is a lot there. Usually when there is staff turnover, it's because of the leadership.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like sometimes we have to do the hard thing and look and see. No, there are going to be people who leave because of their own stuff, right? Like you said, they're not sold on the career.
Right.
But I think what you just said is so important to take time and reflect on how did I contribute maybe to this? Because I've heard that saying that people don't leave jobs, they leave leaders. And that's a really hard thing to sit with.
Yes.
So what would be your little pep talk to the business owner that is kind of having to face that?
Most people leave because they're not getting the correct compensation. They're not getting, paid correctly, especially on product sales. Maybe that they're not getting a commission, on product sales. So what's the actual initiative, or what's the point for that esthetician or provider to retail product when they're not actually getting any kind of compensation? Another is just the leaders are gone. They're not present. And when you are, or you could be in the service room, for instance. You could be in the service room as the owner, and you're doing services all day, and you're not actually present. You don't know your systems. You don't know, how to navigate relationships, and I think that it's a big part of it. Or you don't book your trainings on time for education. You don't want to meet with your sales rep because you might feel like you don't want to face it. You don't want to face it, and I get it. They feel maybe avoidant because it's easier to just avoid those things or put it under the back burner. But when you don't actually meet with your coach or with your rep, then there's no growth. It's trainings are really important for the staff, and the accounts that I work with that are serious about education those are the most productive accounts. Wow. 1,000%.
That is a really good thing to know. So the teams that are most invested in training and developing.
Yes.
They're killing it.
We did a study with Eminence, and 90% of our spa accounts that 90% of them said that they got sales directly after their trainings.
Yeah. Wow.
90%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll show you something.
It really helps to increase sales and knowledge, confidence.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to.
Yes.
Is passion, and it was so nice. I got a feedback from a customer this week, and they had mentioned that they were inspired and encouraged. They used those two words. Oh, wow. And I'm like, oh, that's so
from
cool.
A facial treatment.
So it's an account. There was attendance of 10 staff members, and she wrote to Eminence, and I got to lead management and everything. So it came back to me, and it said that they were inspired and encouraged. And I'm like, that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because you can know all the product knowledge, you can know all the ingredients.
Yes.
But if you don't have inspiration, and if you're not feeling encouraged to recommend product or help people with their skin, right, then there's no point. Yeah. Like, you really have to have both. And so I took that as a huge compliment. That feedback meant the world to me, and really I'm so grateful for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I know.
Well, it just goes to show you that the environment, like when you're running a spa, the services have to be top quality. All these things have to be in place, but like you have to have an environment that people want to work there.
Yes.
And you have to be, you can be the best at giving facials or doing massage or whatever you're doing, but you have to also be a good leader. So that's just another hat.
Yes.
That business owners have to wear is leadership. That is so good, which I feel like you have some great things to say about leadership. But back to Skintopia, focusing a little more on Skintopia, and what have been some of the biggest shifts that you've made with your business? I think you mentioned is the biggest shift you've made going into the coaching, the online coaching.
Yes, this is, I call phase 2. I think this is the biggest shift, and I've been hesitant because it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's also, it takes a lot of effort and resources to do this.
Yeah.
And so I've been saving and making this the right moment for me to make this new phase come true. And so it is the biggest pivot.
Yeah. So it's something that's been, you've wanted to do it, but this is just the 2.0.
Exactly.
I love it.
Now we're here. Yeah.
So if you are, this is coming soon. So if you are, putting a plug in right here, a business owner, a spa owner, an esthetician, any more I should add to that list, you're going to need to go to the website and sign up to get notified as those trainings get launched so that you can, I know that you get asked about about trainings all the time. Yeah. So this is a way, she can't duplicate herself, but this is a way that more people can take advantage of this wealth of knowledge. Okay, so you're going to want to get on that list to get emailed, to get notified. Now, tell me, what is the hardest part about your job that people don't see?
I wear a lot of hats. I own 2 businesses, so I'm actually a 1099 with Eminence, and then I own this business, but I'm also a single mom. And doing all of those, it's very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and she kills it.
That's the hardest thing about my life is just juggling everything. And I really, really want to show up for my daughter in the best capacity, being present for all of the things that she has going on. She's in 5th grade, ending 5th grade. And so she has lots of activities and field trips and the things like that are really important for me. So I'm able to attend that because I make my own schedule, which is the luxury of being an entrepreneur and creating that. But it's also very demanding of my time because of all of the hats that I wear.
Yeah, well, what I do love is that you, a lot of times, not all the time can you do it, but a lot of times you bring her along.
Yes.
I love that because that's what I did when I was growing up. Like, I just did things with my mom. If she had to go somewhere, she had to do something, have a meeting, I was just there.
Yeah.
I love that.
Good.
And she gets a front row seat to seeing what it is that you do day to day.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can't, if I don't feel like leaving her at home by herself, I mean, she's going to be 12 soon. Yeah. So I don't want to leave her for very long. So, and it's no big deal. She can just hang out with us. And,
right.
And it's been really good to have that opportunity, and everybody's been very receptive and kind about her coming along with me. She really has helped me in every aspect, like everyday stuff with just doing the laundry and filing papers. And so
she probably loves it too.
She is very type A. Lydia is very type A, and I'm not. So she's great with systems, and I think for me right now, I am going into that 2.0, and what that means that systems are coming in place. Mm-hmm. So some serious stuff happening for me, and a shift that, it will help me in my mind to organize things. But Lydia is like on it. So she's naturally making her bed, making sure everything is perfect, clean, organized, and it helps me a lot because it's very important for me in the spa to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if you know this, but there's so many kids who, if you ask them what their parents do, like for work, they couldn't tell you. I think it's so cool that she could probably show them what she does. Yeah. I love it. When she was younger, she used to do these little, like kind of mimic you and like showing off Eminence products, and sometimes you would post it on your stories, and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. She needs to bring that back. We need to bring back a little series with Lydia.
We should do that. She knows a lot about the products. And in Eminence training, she's like writing down notes. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. She knows a lot.
Okay, so what makes this industry different from other service-based businesses, do you think?
I think this is such a personable industry with clientele. So you really get to know your clients on such a personal level. That's different than maybe just any other business.
Yeah.
I know the intricate details of my clients' lives. They tell me things that they don't even tell their best friends. So I think that is unique.
Yeah, and it all remains confidential.
It's
obviously
all confidential. Yes, totally. And so I think that is unique. It's not just like a one and done treatment.
Right.
And they are lifelong clients and friends, and end up going to their kids' birthdays. They come to Lydia's birthday parties, that sort of thing. So we really are intertwined.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot of trust that is established there. I mean, like, obviously they're trusting you with their face.
Yes, so with their face. I mean, come on. They really have to trust me. That's right.
So let's shift into marketing a little bit. What are some of the best marketing tools or strategies for the spa industry that you feel like owners are sleeping on?
Ooh, man, marketing is my jam. I love marketing.
And you're great at it.
I get really excited about it. I think that it's a huge disconnect. There's a huge disconnect, and it's not just about social media.
Right.
It's definitely about Google, which I'm working on. Google, having that Google presence, and making sure you have your SEO, because people are Googling all the time.
Yes.
Spas near me, things like that. And if you're not on there, you just will. Yeah. So social media, though, too, is a piece of marketing that most people are not capturing that I know of. It's not the end all, like that you have to have this, you have to have it.
Right.
But marketing also can be just in the spa marketing. What types of promotions are you running? Service and retail promotion offerings that will help to leverage and maximize the full potential of each transaction. And I think, people who are booked already, that's fabulous. But I always ask, well, how can we elevate your profit? How can we maximize their experience? And so, and so that's in marketing. So having those different pieces in the spa and letting your clients know, that could be by text messages, which I think are really great. Just once a month text, letting your clients know what you're offering that month. And then email marketing is also still really great.
Yes.
To have their email is really important. Events are also huge.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of my courses is going to be covering event spa guide to success.
Yes.
And a lot of events that I attend are not successful. I would say the investment is not worth, the return on most events, unfortunately. And I could tell you why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the top reasons why? Because again, if people show up, that might not be, that does not equate to a successful event.
So true. I will tell you, I have seen 150 people show up to an event, and we had sold 5 products that whole night.
Wow.
And it's because of the execution, and it's because of the planning. You have to pre-plan events. You can't just invite people.
Right.
And have a band. Also the band, honestly, and the food. People put too much focus on the fluff of an event, like the food and the band, when really they need to be focusing on the staff, making sure staff know what to do and how to make sure that the clients don't feel like, where are we supposed to go, what's the specials, what's going on here. And especially, like, I've even been to an event here recently where the band was too loud. Nobody could even talk to each other. Yeah. It was fun.
Right.
But we need to make sure that there's intention and there's goals in place before we actually have an event.
Yeah.
In order for it to become successful.
Exactly. Like, it's great to have people out. And if that's your goal, is just to get people out, show them a new space, I don't know. Maybe that's great. Sure. But obviously, I think this course, every single spa owner is going to need to take, because if you're having events, you're spending money to have the event, and you walk out and you're like scratching your head like, oh, what did I profit from that?
Yeah, exactly. And your clients, again, they want to know.
Yeah.
They actually really wanted to know what their skin needs, and they want to help. They want to support.
Yeah.
They just don't know exactly how. So you just kind of have to put it out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us, what do you see on the horizon for the spa and skincare industry? You see a lot. So as far as like looking ahead, whether it's through 2026 or just in the next 5 years, what do you see on the horizon?
Sensorial. So that means not just like sound therapy and facials. Aromatherapy has always been a thing, but I think that's definitely going to come back.
What do you call this? What do you call the sound?
Sound therapy. So that's like, it could be anything from like singing bowls. Like I do a lot of that, like sound therapy in my treatments. And they want sensorial. So the sensorials, like scent profiles, all of that experience. So the experience level is going to, that's in high demand. Most people are not just calling in now for a massage or a facial for results, but they're also coming in to relax, to unwind, to help their nervous systems. So bringing in those elements of sensorials will really help to do that. So we're noticing more and more of a shift in the industry. And so I love that for me, because that is what I do.
You're already doing.
That's like who I am. I'm like, let me love on you and bring all these different elements into the facial. And so that's
that's really fascinating. Like, I do know that you already do that, but I don't know. I didn't know of anyone else doing that. So that's something.
And the guided meditations too, because it's not just then a facial either. Right. It's like, wow, I was able to really let go.
Yes. It was a whole experience.
It was a whole experience.
What do you feel like people in this space should be paying attention to right now? Estheticians, spa owners, what do they need to be paying attention to?
I think it's important to pay attention to follow-up. And like, as far as like not letting your clients just leave your spa and not hearing, and not hearing back. Yeah. So I think that's a big also goes into marketing.
Yes, I think it's huge though, because
I think
it's that touch. You have a first touch, the touch while you're here, the experience, but then that next touch. That's what really, I can tell you, sets it apart.
Right.
When you're reaching out.
Yeah, and it reminds them, because what happens is we get so busy in life, we forget to reschedule.
Yeah.
And we really do need that, like, something to look forward to. And so when a spa is reaching back out to their clients and to thank them, it could even be a handwritten card, and I think that goes a long way too. And I'm like, I need to do that myself. Do I do that right now? No, I'm really busy. I know, but I would love to put that into phase 2, 2.0. Yeah. Yeah. Because I love those thank you cards.
Yes. So I love that. So if that wasn't, maybe that gave someone an idea.
Yeah.
Even, again,
doesn't have to just be spa.
No, outside the spa.
I know.
Like, just having that other contact is huge.
Yes.
It's huge.
Yes.
So before we close, I always ask this question. What is one thing you don't have fully figured out yet, but you're choosing to build through it anyway?
My courses. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, my courses. That is a place for me that feels new, foreign, and scary. And that's where the imposter syndrome sets in. And so I'm working through that.
Yeah. You're doing it anyways, even if you feel that way.
I'm doing it anyway.
Because you got all the knowledge here. It's just getting it into the computer.
And having having the capability to go on screen and doing all that. And I have dreams of doing a podcast and all of those things as well. And it's just actually putting into place. It's not easy.
More than capable. You are more than capable. It's just doing it.
Yep.
Okay, so for those who want to experience Skintopia or connect with you personally, where can they find you online?
They can find me at Skintopia Tulsa, and then also skintopiatulsa.com. And my name is Cameron Cooke with an E at the end.
Yes.
Yes. I have 2 platforms.
Yes, 2.
Yeah. So Spa Coach CC is my platform for estheticians and spa professionals. And then the Skintopia Tulsa is more my personal and Skintopia page.
Yes. So follow both.
Follow both, please, and thank you.
Yes. Well, that is it for this session of the back office. If this conversation gave you clarity, a new angle, or even just a reminder that you're not the only one navigating this, then it did its job. Take what's useful, apply it, move on it. No one has it fully figured out, but we're building anyway. And if you know of another builder who it would benefit, share this episode with them. And you can always hang out with us in between episodes on social media at Signify Marketing Social. I'm Dalayna Dillon, and we will see you back here next time.